polite as fuck, which is an awesome expression. We're going to do that today. So basically, you're going to play with a blend, of course, between lines or strokes, make a clipping mask, convert some type to paths, use the appearance panel. Then I'm going to import a piece of an old map, and I'm going to use it to redraw some of the flourishes you see on here. Basically, I like the way old type looked from the 1800s and maybe earlier. But just type in do a Google search for old map typography or vintage map typography, and you'll see some just incredibly beautiful work. So I try to simulate it here. These engravers lines, I guess, drop shadow, you'll see. If you snoop around, you'll find some beautiful stuff. But here's how I do this trick right here. I'll show you how to do that. And then, like I said, the variable width tool or the width tool helped me draw this. Flourishes are very difficult to draw. You have to be an accomplished, I'd say, calligrapher to do them properly. So here's how I did it. I'm just going to do my regular, let's see, letter and inches, 12 by 12. You guys know the routine, right? High resolution, RGB color, create, boom. Okay, there we are. Command or Control R, bring up my rulers. And for now, I'm going to hold my, see that? I'm clicking on the ruler. I'm holding my Control key. Click, click, and hold. And it's saying those are the units you're using. I'm going to go to picas. The reason why I'm going to go to picas is because I'm going to be using a lot of strokes and effects here. I already know this is a 12 by 12 inch canvas, so don't worry about it. I think the first thing I'm going to do, basically, let's see what I got for swatch. I'm going to bring in some colors that I will use, and the way you can do that is click here, and I'm going to open a swatch library, and the color books are what they use in the industry, mainly these right here from all these Pantone here in America. I believe Toyo's from Japan, True Match I don't know, and these I do not know either. Probably easy to look up. They must be, industry standards if they're in here, but this is what I'm used to using all of these. These are the color mixes, official color mixes that printers will use. Now, color reproduction in the graphic art industry is just crazy important, and a lot of time and energy is put into color reproduction. Every time you buy a camera, Nike, Canon, they have their own proprietary algorithms. Color management is a huge priority for the good companies. Anyhow, that was a long, beautiful speech. It didn't change anybody's lives. I'm going to use Russian poster art. I love a lot of those colors, man. So I'm going to take some of these colors and add a new folder and say, name it fuck. That's a bad word. And there's my folder, and I'm just going to drag and drop some of the colors I like right there. Now there's a million different ways to do this, so don't fucking shit your pants if I'm not doing it the way somebody else taught you. If you prefer that other way, great. If not, that's great, whatever. You just, no matter what kind of tutorial you do, there's always somebody, well, you should have did it this way because, fuck, relax. I got these new colors here that I'm going to use. Type. I don't want a stroke on this when I type out my type, and I want to have a dark color on there. So, POLITEASFUCK. Now, the choice of typeface is up to you. It's an important choice when you're going to do these effects. Otherwise, they just become cumbersome and distracting. So think about what font you're going to use. I would suggest a big fat font, something with a lot of meat to it. If you choose a font that's too thin, I don't know, it may not be enough to hold up to the effects that we're going to put on this. So, but you know what? I could be wrong. Experiment. Avbury, excuse me, Avbury, whatever, 72, and I want it centered. And I like that. So I'm just going to make this 172. There we go. Make sure I spelled it correctly. I'm not known for my spelling acumen, so to speak. Let's see, center it. All right. So I think the way you become advanced in the software, all the Adobe softwares, is you learn the basics and then you experiment and you play. Character. I want the lighting to be tighter here. Okay, not too tight because I have those effects that are going to be part of this. And all right, let's say I like that. The kerning here between this L and this I are a little odd, so I'm going to put my cursor there, hold my Option key, and use my right arrow to see. You can do that or whatever. But anyhow, so I'm going to tweak that and see if I like it. Yeah, I think that looks a little better. Tweaking the kerning on these things. So let's see there maybe, and anyhow. So these are pretty big words, and usually the kerning on these large, point sizes is tighter. But this is a black font, and they need more room because of all these little pieces of the font that are sticking out and bumping into each other. So. And because the effect we're going to use, we want to see what's going on. So anyhow, all right, I'm happy. Yay, I got it. Hold my Option key, duplicate that, move it over. I'm going to use this as my clipping mask, and you'll see what I mean right now. So this will be my the main art here. I'm going to type. I'm going to object and expand it. So now that it's expanded, remember I can't. The software interprets it as just a bunch of paths. To us, we know it's shapes and letters, but the software doesn't give a shit what shape that is. All it knows is it is a closed path. All right. Boom, got that. Yay, great, love it. All right, I'm going to move this over here. Bring this one over here. Same exact thing. Object, expand. Okay. All right, so let me show you something quickly here. We're going to have to convert this to edit to a compound path, okay? Here's the reason why. Because I want it to behave like one path. Right now, I don't have how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 basically closed paths. More really if you count that tittle on the I and some of these other pieces. But anyhow, so if I have this and this and this, all right, and I apply a gradient. This is just an example of what making something a compound path can do. I apply the gradient. The gradient is applied to each of these objects individually. But what if I want the gradient to span, to start here and end here, rather than start and end, start and end, start and end? So what if I want the start point here and the end point there across all three of them? But they're three separate pieces. What the H? Select them, object, compound path, make, and there you go. So you see, in fact, I'm going to insert another color here so it's just a little easier to see what the H is going on. Click, click. That ugly ass yellow, and this ugly ass fuchsia, and there you go. So you see the gradient now is going across these three individual objects called paths as if they're one. Whereas here, the gradient is going across three separate pieces. Get it? I hope so. All right? Okay. That's the awesomeness. One of the things about making a compound path. I need to do that with this, and I'll show you why in a second. Click. I'm going to select a nice. I accidentally just that was selected, and I just put a black stroke around it, but that's okay. I don't worry about that shit. Now I'm going to do this, and that's a black stroke, and then I'm going to select it and hold my option key. It's duplicated, and if I hold my shift, it keeps a nice clean straight vertical alignment there. And so what point size is that? 1 and 1. Okay. What else I'm going to do? I'm going to click here twice on the blend options. That's what we're going to do, ladies and gerbils. I want specific steps, and I'm just going to put 110 here. And then click, and look at that. Effing beautiful. Come on, zoom up much. Okay, there we go. I got this. Now the thing is, I got to make sure that my my blend that I'm going to make here is going to actually cover the entire, all the letters. So I just expanded that. Now I know right now that I'm going to want to increase the number of strokes on that blend, but I'm not worried about that at this very moment. Okay, so this, the words polite as fuck, the dirty words, are going to be my clipping mask. That always has to be above what it is it will be clipping. In this case, the bad words are going to clip the strokes. So I have to move the stroke, object, transform, arrange, send to back, click, okay, it's in front. Now I got to go up here, make sure it's a compound path, make it, I select them both, and I'm all, make a clipping mask, and boom, there it is. It's that fucking simple. And there we go. Right? Okay. Now this is actually on top of the black letters. So object, arrange, send back, or I can look over here. Where are we? Here it is. And if you look over here at my layers, it's underneath. Fine, great, love it. I'm gonna lock this top layer because I want to change the blend. I'll go into isolation mode by clicking on it, and as you see up here in the upper left, I can go into this piece of art deeper and deeper. So right now I'm just at the clipping group. I want to go into the clipping group itself. Click twice on there. There we go. I'm in the blend, and I want to edit that. So I'm going to come back over here. Click twice on the blend options tool or blend tool. It's telling me, hey dude, you're at 110. I'm like, hey man, okay. So I just put my cursor in there and I'm using my up arrow. And okay, let's say I like that. Okay. Go back up here, click, and there we're at. There we are at, and there we go. So now I'm going to lock that, click on this. What color is that going to be? I think I'll make it this ugly ass brown, which I don't like. Is change the color of the strokes in the blend. Go back over here to my friggin' layers. Go into the blending mode, select a stroke. So this one happens to be the top stroke. That one happens to be the bottom stroke. Top stroke, make sure I'm coloring my stroke here. What color? I am going to choose a light tan like that. Aw, so beautiful. I'm going to do the same with this other stroke. And looky there. That is already looking better. Does it look nice? Yeah. So, there we go. Now what? Well, assuming I like these colors, which I have mixed feelings about them, but I got to get on with this shit. Select Make sure I have the click, click. I'm going to select the top letters, and you can set them up the way you prefer. If you want, you can line them up, and then use your key. You decide. You decide, man. Okay, so I'm kind of liking that. So far, so good. When you're doing a drop shadow like this, you got to kind of pay attention to your counters and what's happening in here when I move it. So I don't necessarily like the way that looks, so I might do this. Oops. Might do this. Right? And it looks cleaner in here. There. Okay. But you see, part of these letters, part of the features of the letters can sometimes conflict with each other when you are, doubling them up like this and putting the same character behind itself, like in here, can be a little confusing. That's why you have to be careful about the colors you're choosing. Now watch. Appearance. This panel is friggin' awesome. Where is it? Oh, there it is. So watch, man. This is going to be super cool. I have this selected, okay? And I'm going to click fill. So I have to reapply the fill and the stroke on this because I'm doing a whole new operation, but it is freaking awesome. So I'm going to put my fill on the top, this just like the layers. Click twice here, and the colors that are over here in my swatches panel up here, same color. So there we go. And I'm going to add a stroke, white stroke, and it's underneath my fill. So you see it? See that? That's a 2-point stroke. And that's how I got that white line around. That's how I got my white line around these letters. There's white stroke around them. And I can change the size to thin it out. Or I can actually add another stroke under that and maybe make it a lighter color, let's say. I'm not sure. I'm just going to spitball it here. Why don't I see it? I have it selected, and I have a fill, and then I have a stroke and a 3, because it's a 3/3, canceling each other out. So I have to make the stroke underneath the white stroke a little thicker, and you'll start to see it. There we go. Again, you need to pay close attention to what it does to the actual each letter, because it could get sloppy. Sometimes you'll get these messy, I don't know, combining all these elements don't necessarily always work out perfectly like you hope. There will be some odd, corners, or the way the two pieces meet may not affect, look the way you had hoped. In here's okay. That's acceptable to me. It makes sense overall. But if I was going to be really, really picky, I might cheat and extend these lines in there. But this is a perfect, these are, see what's going on there? But it doesn't bother me. I think it looks natural in that way. So, and it has not affected readability. So I think it's still, immediately readable enough to piss people off or to offend people. And that's the main goal as far as I'm concerned. That's the main goal. So let me show you quickly how I made this flourish. I'm going to add a couple flourishes here. So this one, I use this tool over here, if I can remember where the F it's at. Oh, yeah, the spiral tool. Now, you gotta do research on it, because holding certain keys, like I'm holding my command key, and it really changes now I'm holding it, and see that? How, I guess, tight that curl can be. I'm letting it go, and I'm moving, and holding it now, and, and then, what does the option do? Nothing. So the command, I can do that. That's kind of nice. I like that. And then with my down arrow, I can add or remove pieces of the curl, this whirl. So let's say I'm going to use that. All right. Let's say I'm happy with that. Yay, I'm happy. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom up on there. Good, just 1 point. And I'm going to add a stroke. So I'm going to go click, finish it off over here. And I don't know exactly what length I'll be using, so I'm just gonna go with it, experiment with it, and I'll tell you something though that I don't like. See that kink right in there? That bugs the shit out of me. So why is that happening? Well, because you have this curve meeting of perfectly straight strokes, so then you gotta futz it like that. And there you go, that looks a lot better. I got fortunate. So, all right. Now what? Well, I'm going to change the stroke profile by coming up here and doing that. On the next part of this, we're going to customize the profile. Right here, I'm happy with where it's at. I'm going to hold my Shift, Command Z. I don't want it about that big, let's say, and I'm going to take the end of this stroke here, move it out like that, and then guess what? I'm going to Command copy, Command C, copy, Command F. Those are the Mac commands. I guess would be the same, but Control for the PC users. Transform, I'm going to reflect it vertical, so there we go. So, oh, fuck it, I'm not going to do it. It's bugging me. Sorry, it's bugging me. I can't just, I'm going to drag this to go down to there. And I'm going to drag this one over here to go down to there. There we go. Now it's two separate pieces, right? And you can leave it that way, but I like to keep shit really clean. So I'm going to highlight it, expand it. And so now it looks like that. And these are two separate closed paths. And I'm going to use my Pathfinder, which is awesomest tool in the world. Awesomest. Click. I made it one piece. All right. Cool. There we go. So there's one flourish for the bad words. Command C, Command F. It's pasted on top of it. Just hold my, what is this arrow called? I got a selection tool. Rotated it using my selection tool and did that. So now we got it almost done. All right. The last point is I made these flourishes. These flourishes. Command copy. I'm going to go over here and paste it. But I'm going to give it its own layer so I can paste it beneath. Command V. There it is. And I'll do that to it. You know what's cool about these flourishes is you can do so much with them. I can kind of tilt it a little bit more, get something that I prefer. I can duplicate them and put them on top of each other like I'm going to do now. I just copied it and pasted it on top, and then I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the other flourishes, just reflect the damn thing vertically like that. And look at that. That looks kind of sweet, but that's not what I want to do. I just did it so I can do this. And there we go. So like this and this, make sure they're centered to each other perfectly. And I'm going to group them. Then I'm going to select this and group them. So now if I select this group and this group, and I say center please, it'll center them vertically and horizontally. And there we go. So then I select these, and let's see, these two, I got to group them. So basically now I have three pieces. I have 1, 2, and 3. And I want to center all the pieces. So click. On the next piece here, I'll give you, you're going to watch a video of me redrawing this flourish because I'm going to import a map, clip it, or excuse me, crop it, and then use that one piece to draw this, and then use my swatches to color it. So another quick tutorial attached to this. It's pretty easy and it's fun.